Sports Bucks. Sports Bucks. Get the money. Sports Bucks with Steve. Glad to have you listening once again, my friend. We're back. This is Sports Bucks with Steve. Appreciate you liking our YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe. Tell a friend, y'all. Shout it all out. Because these are the things that I can't do without. So come on. This is Sports Bucks. Ride with me. Walk with me. Sports Bucks with Steve. Get the money. We want to thank Fig Wealth Partners, Ford Insurance Group, My Virtual Docs, Low Cost Airlines, Veteran Card Donations, and everyone else that supports this show. I see you. We appreciate you. We thank you for helping to build this page. Love and blessings to all of y'all. I am the Retirement Wealth Coach, certified financial fiduciary, as we talk sports, money, and all things related to it. We're going to go right into the show. We're not going to waste no time. You guys may have heard unfortunate breaking news. Jalen Carter, I believe is his name, or is it Jordan or Jalen Carter, the young gentleman who is the number one, Jalen Carter, the number one overall prospect in this NFL's upcoming draft, and a superstar collegiate athlete from the University of Georgia Bulldogs, two-time defending back-to-back national champion in this past season, undefeated national championship team, has been accused of allegedly being racing and reckless driving in a crash that killed not only one of his teammates, Georgia player Devin Wilcock, and condolences to his family, but also the recruiting analyst and team staffer Chandler LaCroix died, according to the investigation by the Athens Clarke County Police. So there was an arrest warrant that was issued this past Wednesday. Jalen was since detained and has been released, and he is now participating at the combine. And it says here, according to the Athens County Police Department, released in a statement, it says that the evidence demonstrated that both vehicles switched between lanes. Now, Jalen Carter was driving a 2021 Jeep Trackhawk in a manner that they're saying is consistent with racing in the morning that these folks were killed, according to the Athens Clarke County Police Department. And it said it drove with high rates of speed as before the crash, the expedition apparently was traveling at about 104 miles per hour. So now Jeep Trackhawk is different from an expedition. So I'm not sure if it was different. I guess it was two different vehicles that was traveling, but it was traveling at speeds of 104 miles per hour. And so condolences to the families that have lost these two young men, and Jalen Carter. Man, Mr. Carter, I don't listen. When are we going to learn? When are the youth are going to learn that, it's, and I've seen stuff on Twitter that makes you shake your head. Like, there are people supporting, well, the thing go to 200 miles per hour, so it's a fast car. You're going to drive fast. I'm like, where is our brains at in this day and age? Like, it's just, some of us are just gone. Like, you can't tell them nothing. They're just gone. And I saw some of these statements of people defending racing the car. If you want to race the car, get on the track. If you want to see how fast it'll go put it on one of these legal race car tracks where they let you do that. Do that. But when you risk the lives of other people, flag on the play, man. Now, I don't know. It's alleged. He's been arrested. He's been released. We don't know what's going to happen from that. But this outstanding defensive lineman and football player is jeopardize allegedly not only the lives, which they did lose, but he's jeopardizing his career. And so when we start looking at athletes, we want character, right? We want guys that are going to come in with a character, because how many times are you going to keep seeing the same story being played over? We know what happened with Lynn Bias, the legendary University of Maryland basketball player, when they played in the ACC, which they've since gone to the Big Ten. But my home state, Maryland, Len Bias is arguably the guy that could have been Jordan, and some say might have been better than Mike. He was the player of the year in the Atlantic Coast Conference when ACC basketball was just at its highest level. It was unbelievable. It felt like a junior varsity of the NBA, of the ACC and the Big East back in those days. They were just unbelievable conferences. Even the Big Ten had some guys back then that was legendary, but the ACC and the Big East was just monsters. So Jalen Carter, though, I just feel like, young man, and let this be a lesson to all these other young men and women that are watching these things, and you're jeopardizing not only the lives of someone first and foremost, but you're putting yourself and your future prospects. You're jeopardizing millions of dollars just so you can have a fun time joyriding and speeding. And it's like, you got to understand, it's bigger than you at this point. You represent family, you represent legacy. And Mr. Carter's, I don't know his history, but he may be representing people that have never had this type of money, wealth that he's now being accustomed to, and getting ready to gain even more if this doesn't hurt his status. So we got to know better. They say when you know better, you do better. And there are too many examples of where our young people can learn from the mistakes of others. Now, in lieu of that, I do want to go into something that, because Deion Sanders caught a lot of flack talking about the type of athlete he wants and he likes to see in his quarterback as opposed to his defensive lineman. So let me play that video for you guys where Coach Prime is talking about the type of athlete that he looks for as opposed to when it comes to the quarterback or someone who's playing defensive line and offensive line. Check this out.
Quarterbacks are different.
Yeah.
We want mother, father, dual parent.
Mm-hmm.
We want that kid to be 3-5 and up because you got to be smart.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad decisions off the field at all, because he has to be a leader of men. It's so many different attributes in what we look for. Physical, offensive line. My defensive line is totally opposite.
What do you mean?
Single mama. Trying to get it. He's on free lunch. I'm talking about just trying to make it. He's trying to rescue mama. Like mama barely made the flight. Quarterbacks are different.
Yeah.
Deion goes on and he's talking about the attitude. And then just before, there's a lot of people that had a problem with what Deion said. Sometimes you need to understand the context of what somebody's saying. And in this sound bit and clicks that people are not really getting what he's really trying to say. Now, could it have been said better? Absolutely. And I'm not here to be a Deion Sanders, Coach Primetime apologist, even though he's the greatest cornerback that's ever played the game, one of the best football players of all time. He's definitely in the top 10 in that space. And he's obviously been a great coach. He's a really, really good coach, and he's a great recruiter. But, when you say these things, what he's trying to say is this. Quarterbacks, you want a guy that's got a pristine, sort of stable mindset, really, really smart, because he's got to know the playbook in and out. He's got to be a direct reflection of the head coach, right? He's got to be able to mirror the minds of the offensive coordinator, and he's got to be able to lead young men on that field into tough situations. And so you want someone who is steady and can be have a certain level of intellectual prowess and mental state stability and capability, acuity that will allow him to be able to function at a high level. And he believes that could come from, two family stable home and two mother parent fathers, mother in the household. And that could be true. Now, that doesn't mean that a young man who comes from a household, a single mother or a single parent home doesn't have those attributes. So in defense of those single mothers or single family whole households that have raised these young men, that's not always the case. So Coach Prime, I'd be careful when you say certain things around company, because you got to always ask yourself the question, are they laughing with you or at you? And as far as the defensive lineman, what Coach Prime is trying to say is he wants someone that's hungry, because when you're in that dirt, in that mud, and you battling against 300-pound offensive linemen, you got to have a certain mindset. You got to have a certain dog in you, and you got to be dirty, gritty, and nasty, and he wants you to be hungry, because you're trying to survive. You're trying to not only survive, you're trying to take mama and them with you, right? That's what Coach Prime is talking about. But he don't want what Jalen Carter did. So let's be clear on that. But we want to make sure we have a certain mentality. I'm going to be honest with you, though. I want that mentality in my quarterback also, though. I want that mentality in all of my football players. Part of the problem of being a Dallas Cowboy fan is that I don't often see that sometimes in my team. Dak Prescott is the Walter Payton Man of the Year. So he demonstrates that high intellect, high character, go get it, type of leader among men. Everybody talks about how much of a great leader he is. But I want to be able to see some dogs sometime. And when the play breaks down and when the play's not there, take off and run, make the play, make it do what it needs to do. And oftentimes you don't see that enough in the big moments. I want to see that dog in my wide receivers. I want to see it in my running backs. I want to see it in my tight ends. I don't want you seeing a cornerback and you going down on the play and you're not fighting through that to get that extra yard. You're not blocking that safety or making sure that end is blocked and Zeke can run in and get an easy touchdown. These are the things we're talking about. I want it on my team completely, that dog mentality. But this is Sports Bucks with Steve. We're going to take a quick commercial break. This is going to be a shorter show because we want to talk about in Must Be the Money. That's turning them on, must be the money. In lieu of what Coach Prime is talking about, we got a real quick commercial, and then we're going to be right back because we want to talk about It Must Be the Money. Mama Masita, Black Mama, Vanessa Bryant is getting paid, y'all. The West is in the building. It's coming back. Kanye West, Adidas. Somebody's sorry, y'all. And MVP talk. Big Perk discusses what's the criteria, man? What's the MVP? So we'll be right back. This is Sports Bucks with Steve. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching.
Is the cost of your meds giving you a headache? Prescription prices can vary significantly between pharmacies, but now you can save up to 80%. Simply download the RX Heroes mobile app, click Join Now to register, and then enter the promo code FOX to receive an additional 500 points just for signing up. RX Heroes offers rewards for shopping at your favorite retailers. Join the millions who save on their prescriptions. Download RX Heroes today on Apple App Store and Google Play.
And we're back. Sports Bucks with Steve. We got ball so hard, we're going to talk about that in a second, too. But let's get into It Must Be the Money that's turning them on. Must be the money. Must be money. Deion, Coach Primetime Sanders, we just talked about that. But now I want to get into the money. Kanye West. The West is in the building. Mamacita. Vanessa Bryant just got paid. So let's talk about it. Vanessa Bryant settled her remaining claims with the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department for $28.85 million over photos that deputies shared after a 2020 helicopter crash that killed her late great top 5 NBA all-time player in Kobe Bean Black Mamba Bryant, in addition to their beautiful 13-year-old daughter Gianna and 7 others. The settlement included a $15 million a jury already had awarded Vanessa Bryant in August after trial in federal court. Today, this is a statement by Louis Lee, who is Vanessa Bryant's attorney. He said that today marks the successful culmination of Mrs. Bryant's courageous battle to hold accountable those who engaged in this grotesque conduct. She fought for her husband, her daughter, and all those in the community whose deceased families were treated with similar disrespect. We hope her victory at trial, the settlement, will put an end to this practice. Mira Hashmel, the lead lawyer representing Los Angeles County's case, called the settlement actually fair and reasonable and said it resolves all outstanding issues related to pending legal claims in state court, future claims by the Bryant children, and other costs which each party responsible for this respective attorney's fees. Also, in addition, co-plaintiff Chris Chester, whose wife and daughter were also killed in the crash, received $19.95 million in the settlement. So the photos from the crash were shared mostly among employees of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's and Fire Department, including by some who were playing video games, and attending the awards banquet. And they were also seen by some of their spouses, and in one case by a bartender at a bar where deputies were drinking. Wow, must be the money. I'm glad to see that Vanessa Bryant, Mr. Chris Chester, and they get some level of closure for, I guess that's the best word you can use in this scenario, but they're going to get some level of closure. But it's unfortunate that came at the cost of loved ones. So in other news, must be the money. We also now have learned that Milwaukee Bucks co-owner Mark Lashley reached an agreement to sell his portion of the team to Cleveland Browns owners Jimmy and Dee Haslam at $3.5 billion valuation, according to the sources to ESPN. The deal, which represents Lashley's portion of the Bucks of approximately 25% of the team, is still pending league approval. Sources said, and if completed, it will be the second highest valuation ever for an NBA team, only surpassed by the $4 billion purchase of the Phoenix Suns by Matt Eshiba from Robert Sarver, who had his issues, to put it lightly, that was completed earlier in the month. It also would be the last month, I should say. It would also be the third highest for any American professional sports team, trailing the $4.65 billion the Denver Broncos went for last June. So, big money. The Bucks sale is just the latest in a series of escalating prices for NBA teams in recent years. Before Ashiba's purchase, the previous record was actually Joe Desai. I'm sorry, I almost said that. Buying the Brooklyn Nets for $2.3 billion in 2019. That preceded and surpassed Tillman Fertitta's spending $2.2 billion to land the Houston Rockets back in 2017, and Steve Microsoft Ballmer, Mr. as enthused of a owner as you can ever see at a game, he spent $2 billion to purchase the LA Clippers back in 2014 from Donald Sterling, another owner, disgraced owner, who he walked away with over $2 billion though. So I guess he ain't hurting that bad when it came to the money. Now, Kanye West is in the building. Kanye West is in the building. And so Adidas, my Adidas, apparently needs some help. And they understood that Kanye West had more power, must be one man to have all this power. I guess that's what Kanye West was talking about, to have all this power. Because in spite of Kanye's as he likes to be called, public criticism and some outlandish statements, some very controversial statements, some statements were, there's some factual stuff in what he did say. There's some unfactual stuff in what he also said. We're not going to get into all of that. But Kanye West, basically, what we've learned is that Adidas has lost, according to them, about $1 billion because of the Yeezy brand that his logo had to be taken off. And so at first they were trying to distance themselves from all of the West, and they were in solidarity with the Jewish community, but it helped the company save millions in royalties since they didn't have to pay him anymore. But guess what? Mr. West is in the building, because they learned very quickly that the Yeezy Nation was not trying to buy these fake Yeezys. And so Kanye West's team, and this is according to a retail expert and managing director at retail consultancy Strategic Resources Group, this is from Bert Flickinger, he told CNN, there really are no good options for this distressed brand that sat somewhere between prestige and loyal luxury. So prestige, worldwide. Kanye West, Ye is in the building. And the billions the billion that was going to be lost, bringing back Kanye West, aka Ye, is going to bring back some, I guess, much restoration with Adidas. We're going to take another quick one, and then we're going to be back to get into our Ball So Hard segment in regards to the NBA, but it's specific Ball So Hard. We're going to talk NBA and we're going to talk MVP. So we'll be right back after this commercial break. If I can find it, we'll be right back. What are we going to do? We're going to find it. We're going to find it.
Are you looking for an affordable yet exceptional virtual healthcare solution for your workforce? Have you been thinking of a way to attract and keep a good team of employees? Well, your solution is here with My Virtual Docs. From virtual primary, urgent, and mental health care, a free and low-cost medicine formulary, and even pet care, My Virtual Docs has got everyone in the household covered. My Virtual Docs allows employers to provide employees and their families with convenient access to the care they need, on demand without having to miss valuable work time. Our strong network of providers and pharmacies means patients have unlimited access to their providers virtually with no copay, anywhere they can get online and have their medicines delivered right to their doorstep. By simply logging into their portal, patients can make appointments, visit with doctors, fill prescriptions, and more. And it keeps getting better. With the use of our smart app, Burn, your employees will be inspired to earn dollars while they burn calories. Who wouldn't want to get paid to go for a walk? Here at My Virtual Docs, we're committed to helping employers help employees and their families achieve optimal health and wellness with exceptional care at an affordable price. Visit myvirtualdocs.com for more details.
And we're back. We're back once again as we get ready to get into the NBA discussion. And ball so hard. We want to talk about it though, because Kobe Bean Bryant, doesn't he deserve more than one MVP? Some will say no, but you don't understand the facts. Kobe Bryant is the only NBA player, along with Michael Jeffrey Jordan, to be first team all defense and scoring champion. He did it twice. Jordan did it 9 times. They're the only two. So let's talk about it. Sports Bucks with Steve. Check it out. Well, we want to go right into an interview because I think too often we hear people talking and don't know what they're talking about. So, but before we do that, we're going to get a little bit more in the world of ball so hard. Ball so hard.
Ball so hard, got a broke clock, roll lazy, don't tick tock. Ball so hard, got a broke clock, roll lazy, don't tick tock. Ball so hard, got a broke clock, roll lazy, don't tick tock. Ball so hard, got a broke clock, roll lazy, don't tick tock. Ball so hard, got a broke clock, roll lazy, don't tick tock.
Ball so hard, I got a Rolex that don't tick tock because it has a swivel. That's why I don't tick tock. Anyhow, and this is not a TikTok video. So we're going to go right into it because why did I bring up Kobe Bryant? I bring up the late, great Kobe Bryant, who to me is often disrespected when we start talking about the greatest basketball players of all time. Some people say he's not even top 10. And I'm like, what are you looking at? You've never played. There's no way you've played to say that. And those who've played the game tend to have Kobe on a higher pedestal than some of the folks that have never played the game. Some of y'all ain't never played in the park. So when you make these statements, I made that point about Kobe and Michael Jordan for a reason. Because when you start talking about the top 5 players of all time, both of those are in it. One of them is the GOAT. Then you can throw in the great players like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and LeBron James. Then you can throw in my opinion, another guy that gets disrespected over and over in these GOAT conversations is Wilt Chamberlain. This man got video game numbers. He averaged 50 points a game. I don't care who he was playing, but you averaged 50 and 25 rebounds. He didn't win MVP that year either, by the way. Oscar Robertson that same year had a triple-double for the season. Didn't get the MVP. You want to know who got it? Bill Russell. Great player, all-time greatest winner in sports. But Wilt averaged 50 and 25. And Bill Russell, by the way, played with 19 Hall of Famers. I may be joking, but he had 8, 9 other Hall of Famers on that same team when there was only 8 teams in the league. Wilt Chamberlain was a one-man machine for most of that until he got in the 60s with that great team. And then finally in the late 70s, or early 70s, I should say, with the Lakers when they won all those games. And at one point was the NBA record of 69 wins. So that's the story. But let's listen to what another all-time great player, Dominique the Human Highlight Film, was saying about one Kobe Bean Bryant. Check this out.
I think the closest thing to him was Kobe.
My opinion,
Man,
it's Mike and then it's Kobe. I feel like Kobe gets slighted about all
people
this.
who played against Kobe,
Thank you.
they know.
Thank
They
you.
know. They
Thank
know.
you.
If you haven't played against either one of them guys, you don't realize how good they really are. When you play against guys like that and you know firsthand what they bring to the table, both of them was lethal. They trying to cut your throat. Man, I ain't trying to play with you. I'm trying to bust your ass.
What I say all the time.
I think the close.
So what is Dominique, again, one of the all-time great players, has made a statement that you can't, it is what it is my whole point, that the ballers know Kobe Bean Bryant is great. Why do I bring that up? Because I want to play a video, and this will be probably the last video we play before we get ready to get out of here with the last little tip from Coach's Corner. But I want to talk about a video real quickly, which Kendrick Perkins, Big Perk, was responding to a comment he made about Dirk, we call him Dirk Nowitzki, but it's Dirk Nowitzki. But we're talking about the Joker, Nikola Jokic, and he said he was stat padding. And he says in the locker room, these guys know what that is. Russell Westbrook got accused of that all the time, by the way. And when he had a triple double for back-to-back seasons, then they said, "Oh, we don't value triple doubles anymore." But now we like them again. Okay. Anyhow, so this is Kendrick Perkins kind of talking about this, and he's trying to say, look at what Kobe Bryant did that year, but Kobe didn't get it. But y'all keep moving the goalposts. So watch what he got. Watch what he says.
Then got the JV conversations out the way. Let's get to the varsity conversation. First of all, to Jokic, a hit dog will holler. Okay, and to JJ Redick, if we're going to slap box, at least allow me to be on TV to throw my jabs and throw my uppercuts back at you as well. So when it comes down to stat padding all across the league, JJ of all people should know that this goes on in the locker room. That's why we see certain things why guys don't shoot half-court shots at the end of quarters and at the end of halves because they don't want to mess up their three-point percentage. Right? I was in with the Celtics. I'm the second all-time leader for his field goal percentage in Celtic history. Robert Williams just passed me up. I was on the verge during that time when I was passing up Cornbread Maxwell, and he used to tell me, "Boy, you better take that elbow jump shot." You know what I used to tell him, Stephen A? You know what? I'm going straight dribble handoff. So let's not act like that we don't know, okay, that this goes on for us guys trying to reach milestones or living in the moment. It happens. Now, JJ brought up something else when it came down to the MVP, and he felt some type of way that I have Joel Embiid as my front runner. So I didn't know if I wanted to wait to bring this conversation on No Mercy, or was it appropriate for First Take? And damn it, I'm here, so it's appropriate for First Take. So let me get us in outside of our comfort zone a little bit when we talk about the MVP conversation. Is it Uchiwali? Or is it one Mike? That's what Jay-Z said. I just want to know, what song are we dancing to? Because I'm walking up into the club, I got my J's on. I didn't know it was a dress code to put on church shoes. So when I say that, Stephen A., when I come on here every single time and I ask, what is the criteria for the MVP and how the goalposts move, I'm asking these questions for a reason. And so when I look at JJ and I hear him talk, because he's so big in analytics and he's a historian when it comes down to diving in deep and going back into history and talking about the evolution of the game, why didn't he never bring up this in particular subject? When it comes down to guys winning MVP since 1990, it's only 3 guys that won the MVP that wasn't top 10 in scoring. Do you know who those 3 guys were?
Who are they?
Steve Nash, Jokic, and Dirk Nowitzki. Now,
Dirk Nowitzki.
what do those guys have in common? I'll let it sit there and marinate. You think about it. Now, here's the thing when it comes down to the MVP conversation and why I say the goalpost move is because it was during the time in 2006 when Steve Nash won his second MVP, when he had a roster full, didn't have the best record in the league, and Kobe Bryant was averaging 31. And if you go and look at that 2006 roster that Kobe was playing with, which they finished number 7 in the Western Conference, which I don't understand how he did that with that team he had. No disrespect to those players, but it is what it is. How was he not winning it? Leading the league in scoring that year. So when it comes down to moving the goalposts for certain individuals to win it, again, is it Uchiwale or is it One Mike? Like, what song are we actually dancing to right now? Why is this subject not brought up? What do those 3 guys have in common when they won the MVP for us? Steve Nash, Dirk Nowitzki, and Jokic. That wasn't top 10 in scoring. We moved the goalpost so much. So don't come giving me, oh, they're the number 1 seed this year in the Western Conference, so he's averaging triple-double. That's why he should be the clear-cut favorite. They wasn't the number 1 seed last year. They was actually the number 6 seed, one seed from being in the play-in tournament. So that's my whole thing, is like, why we move the goalposts for certain people and then for others, we don't. So when I was trying to make a case 2 years ago for Chris Paul, when I was saying, hey, you know what? The Phoenix Suns, Chris Paul, same organization, same position, same results. Why is he not getting the love that Steve Nash was getting when he was in Phoenix for as the MVP candidate or winning or being the MVP front runner? I'm just trying to say, Stephen A., am I missing something here?
And he's right. I mean, at the end of the day, what is he missing? We're missing, hey, man, this NBA is very politically driven. Kobe Bryant was one of the best players. It was the best player that year playing basketball for multiple years. He was the best player in the NBA, but you'll have people say he was never the best player in the NBA, which is just, again, silly. His team went to the championship. Then he went back to back and won the title when he finally got some help, some level of help. Not all 70 top 5, 75 help. He just got some capable guys that he made better. And they became champions because he made them better. Don't get me started on this Jordan without Pippen conversation, because that's coming too. He made Pippen a better player. Mike was already a made man when Pippen came to the Bulls. Pippen averaged 10 points a game when they went to the second round. Stop it. We'll talk about that on another show. So we're going to go into this last piece of this. As we go into this, we want to take a real quick, what are we going to do? We're going to go into a quick little, we'll see. We'll just take a brief commercial.
Does
Not
the
even
recent
commercial, just play
stock
my
market
land.
run make you nervous? Are you concerned about outliving your money? You have insurance on your car and your homes and even on your cell phone. But do you have insurance on your retirement? Call Steve Crawford, certified financial fiduciary, the Retirement Wealth Coach, at 980-216-8487, 980-216-8487. Stephen Crawford, the Retirement Wealth Coach.
And as we always say every week, y'all, every superhero needs his own theme song. We want to thank again Fig Wealth Partners, figwealthpartners.com for all of your retirement needs. Ford Insurance Group, fordinsurancegroup.com. Nationwide healthcare is available for you. If you're a small business owner, independent contractor, we got insurance for you at fordinsurancegroup.com. We want to thank My Virtual Docs. We want to thank Low Cost Airline, Veteran Car Donations, and everybody else. We want to thank you guys again for listening and for supporting this page and watching this page, Sports Bucks with Steve's YouTube channel. We appreciate it. You guys have a great one. We will see you next week. And I'm out.